Was this the presidential?
Yeah, here we go.
Where's Trump? Is he coming in the door?
Stand up.
Good morning. It's 6:07, 7 minutes after 6. We're a little late this morning, but it is a holiday, Memorial Day, and Mike and I were just talking about some of the events that are going to happen and things today. Mike, good to be with you this morning.
Good morning, Bill. It is good to be here. Memorial Day, we got here first thing, and Baden and I went out and adjusted the flag. You know, I guess I would say protocol.
Did you lower it to half mast?
Right, until
so
noon.
You raised it slowly. And then lowered it raised it quickly and lowered it slowly to half mast.
That is exactly what he did.
Good.
Baden is a former Eagle Scout, and so he knew exactly what to do. When I got here, I had seen an article about the flag rules, and I'm sure I've read it before, but I'd forgotten it. But we went out and lowered it to half mast, right? It was about 2 minutes after sunset. You're supposed to lower it from sunset until noon. Then at noon it goes back to full.
Oh,
mast.
Really? You raise it back up at noon? I did not know that.
That's right.
Most people leave it at half mast all the time, all day.
The U.S. Flag Code says that from sunset until noon, and then from after noon, raising the flag represents the nation's resilience and the continuation of the country from those who currently serve in the military.
Wow,
how about that?
I did not know that. You have schooled me beautifully on that. I had no idea. I just assumed once you lowered it to half mast, I knew about you're supposed to always raise the flag quickly up, and then you always lower it very slowly back down. But I had no idea that you were supposed to raise it back up full mast at noon. That's amazing.
Well, we have an adjustable flagpole out there, so it was already extended, and so we quickly lowered it. He adjusted it and brought it right back up to half mast, extended the entire, which is very similar to what you just described. I didn't know about the raising it up very quickly to full mast and then back down.
Yeah.
Did not know that, but that's interesting as well. But there are different flag protocol. There is different protocol for different holidays, and that's to be completely respectful of it. I think that's good to know, and I wanted to get that out there. In fact, hopefully we'll post some pictures on Facebook. You can check it out. See Baden in action.
Eagle Scout in action.
Exactly.
I think that's phenomenal.
That's right. I think it was his nickname.
I came in this morning. It takes me about 45 minutes to drive here from Columbiana. Normally, traffic, even this early on 145, is usually, brisk. I mean, it's not rush hour or anything, but you see a lot of vehicles both directions. I get behind some coming into Clanton. I see a lot more going out of Clanton, heading toward Wilsonville and
restaurant,
that way.
Plant. Mm-hmm.
And so this morning, the entire ride, 2 vehicles.
How about that?
It was deserted this morning. Downtown, I only saw a couple of cars. I mean,
was it really foggy?
It was a little foggy coming.
I had quite a bit
spot.
Coming around 31.
Did you?
From Jemison. That's where we live. Right.
And you saw some fog?
Yeah.
I didn't have much, but down in the bottoms down there when you're coming really close to the lake. So anyway, that's amazing. It's going to be a day like yesterday. And by the way, we're locked in this same weather system. It's going to be a good chance we'll see cloudiness most of the day, some sunshine, and a good chance that storms will develop through the afternoon, especially, and in the early evening. And that's that way today, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
At least.
So they're saying this is going to be locked in at least till Wednesday night. So maybe we'll break the pattern Thursday, but we'll see.
Well, we're still, I don't even think this rain has taken us out of the drought. Exactly. So
it hasn't.
It's nice to get it, and so we'll enjoy it while we have it. And make the best
shame
of
is
it.
we need the rain, but a lot of people don't want the rain on like a Memorial Day weekend because it's the first unofficial start of summer, and a lot of people want to go to the lake or have picnics or grill out, and you want the weather to be nice. But boy, I think people don't realize how severe the drought was, especially just south of us. You get down just below from Montgomery and south, it's severe drought. I mean, these poor farmers, they're struggling down there. We had trouble here a little bit, mostly with. Well, you know about this. You're the peach specialist. The cold weather got us on the peaches a little bit.
Farm hand is what I call myself.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. We need the rain.
We do. And you mentioned the South, and I was down in went to Panama City last weekend, and I saw a lot of brown. I was surprised this early.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's really the drought.
Dry.
So, yeah, we need it, and you're right. It's forecast for several days now.
We're actually very lucky
More
in
days,
some ways, though. I was watching a documentary or listening to a story last night about the Colorado River and the predictions. If they don't have an incredibly wet summer and an amazing amount of snow next winter, the predictions are almost like skull and crossbones. I mean, it's like 40 million people are not going to have water. Dams are going to collapse, because I didn't realize this. Dams don't, I know they don't operate if the water level gets so low as far as hydroelectric, because they got to have so much pressure, so much high water.
Right.
So if it gets below the intakes or the pressure gets off, they don't run. But also, I didn't realize a dam just doesn't do well if it's dry. That a dam can be damaged and can fail when it's dry behind it, when its water's too low. And now they're saying some of these, we're talking some of the biggest dams on the face of the earth out west, some of these dams. And
well, they're engineered, built for the water pressure to hold it.
right, it's got to have pressure on the backside.
Right.
That's what it's,
That's really heavy.
A lot of water.
Is
yeah,
huge.
it is heavy.
Very heavy.
6 pounds a gallon. I remember that.
Okay.
Water weighs 6 pounds a gallon.
So,
we're talking millions of gallons. So
right.
That's a lot of weight. Well, and they're talking, we don't feel it here because this is all in Arizona and California and all out there, but from pretty much Texas west. But, oh, my God, they're talking about, this isn't just like, it's going to be tough. We're not going to, water's going to be a problem. This is like end of the world kind of stuff for these people. It's like they absolutely may not have water for Phoenix. No water. It's not like, we're going to have to cut back. You can't water your lawn and no, dry taps, no water, and maybe no electricity for just maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. And so this is getting to be third world like. It's very scary.
It is.
And I didn't realize, I knew they were talking about Lake Mead, the largest lake out there.
Right.
It's never been this low ever since it was built, since the dam was built. And now they're saying this could be catastrophic to the point that there's no coming back from it. That they're just going to have to, they may just have to shut down communities and move, like the Dust Bowl, when it got so bad that people just abandoned the cities and abandoned their land. This may happen in the next decade or next 5 years, which is just amazing when you think about, what do they do about Vegas? How do you abandon Vegas, and how do you abandon Phoenix? These aren't little 600 people towns or 1,200 people towns. This is monster metropolis.
Millions, like you said, 40 million. Is that what you said?
40 million.
Well, think about California. That's where most of that water goes.
Yep.
The Colorado River. Bill, you ever been to the Grand Canyon?
I have.
You know what that river is that runs through the bottom of it?
I think it's
It is the Colorado
River. Yeah.
So think about what the Colorado River used to be.
Right. It
Look
carved
at that canyon.
thing out.
Exactly. And I don't say we, but it has, run for who knows how long, how many years.
Of years.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? For sure. But
it was one of the biggest, it's like the Mississippi of the West. It was one of the biggest rivers that went all the way from Canada to Mexico.
But, even the Mississippi has it carved out, something like the Grand Canyon.
That's true.
Think about that. So I remember being out probably almost 10 years ago. We took a family trip out to Denver and visited family out there, and rented a van and drove down to Phoenix and visited some of my wife's family there. And along the way, we went and visited the Grand Canyon, and my father-in-law and I were talking to like a park ranger, I guess, at the Grand Canyon, and he's like, "Well, that's the mighty Colorado," or whatever he called it, And we looked down. I mean, now we're way above it. I agree.
You're a mile above it,
But
whatever.
it just looks like a creek, And he says, "Well, it's 60 feet deep in places," and I'm like, 60 feet? The Mississippi is, hundreds of feet, right, in places. So anyway, I just thought that was funny because we have somehow offended him because we didn't mean to make a snide remark about the Colorado. But, they've had an aqueduct running straight to Los Angeles basically for...
Yeah, they built that back in, what, the 20s or 30s?
I was going to say for 100 years.
Yeah.
And they've been draining that thing forever. They found a source, and people that live there, nothing they could do to stop it, basically. But I don't think that's really right. Do you, to be bringing the water in that far? Of course, we live in the river state, right?
Right,
we have
got
how many
water
rivers?
everywhere.
Exactly.
Even in a drought, we got pretty good
We got water.
So,
That's right.
the thing is with them, they've been having trouble for the past 2 decades as it did get more and more was drained. And it isn't fair because, as you said, if you start up around the northern part of the country and you start bleeding off all the water, you're leaving less and less water for the states and the people below you. And so there are certain rights that they want to carve out for that. So, they've been working for the last 20 years on these water rights bills and the poor Native Americans, they just cut them off completely, and then they divvied it up with the states. Well, now that thing I was watching last night said there's not even enough to divvy up anymore. It just if we don't have a complete climate change over the next couple of next year, there'll be no water to divvy up. And nobody ever conceived of that because they were pumping millions of gallons out, not just for the big cities and the drinking water and all that. They were pumping out millions of gallons for those massive fields that give us so much of our produce.
That's
the breadbasket of the country.
Exactly. California, I think it's the San
fruit
Joaquin Valley, if I remember right. And it just uses so much water so that we get our avocados and our strawberries and our everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, almonds, that's right. That's huge out there. And takes a lot of water, I believe, is what I have heard. True. So, it's a double-edged sword. But I guess there's possibly other sources that can be, tapped. But how fair is it? Just remember 10, 15 years ago, Florida and Georgia and Alabama were in the court battling over water rights for the Chattahoochee River.
That's right.
Because Georgia was draining it
so
way on their end before it got to Alabama and Florida. And Alabama and Florida's going, hey, we're not getting the water we normally get. Our residents are suffering. How fair is that? And they were tapping it out.
I remember that was happening 15, 18 years ago.
That's what I was talking about. It was a while back, but and they reached some agreement. And I think Georgia agreed to release more water than they were, and they kind of balanced it out. Georgia gets a little more. Everybody
gets their share. Hopefully.
Well, I don't know if share. I don't know what is
I don't know how they figure it out.
I don't know. I don't know that's illegal for Georgia to take it right there because it's in their state. It's right there. It's a resource right there, even though it runs down. But they work on it. But that's a great story, man. That Colorado River.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's just
because I think
it.
we're going to see if they don't. Because you could maybe have a little relief, like we're doing about our drought here. We might have a little relief for them next year, and they get by. But they're just kicking the can down the road. Long term, unless something changes dramatically, I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be quite. But we don't feel it, but we will when that dries up and everybody has to move, or you don't get your produce and your fruits and vegetables.
Think about the Hoover Dam. That holds back the Colorado, and that thing is built between two rock beds, basically. Right. Yeah, exactly. And they just engineered it to put like a wedge in there to stop it. It was one of the greatest dams
ever built when it was built, wasn't it?
Like 1933, I want to say, it was finished. Right in the Depression era.
I remember they always, in school, they would tell us, when we studied the Hoover Dam, they always talked about how much concrete they had to pour to make that dam.
Imagine.
And it was like, as a child, you couldn't conceive. It didn't even make sense. You couldn't have figured there was that much of anything. much less concrete or cement or whatever.
Supposedly, we went by, we drove over it or next to it. I think there was a bridge they built next to it. But I was like 5 years old, but I don't remember. Yeah. But supposedly there. Well, look, we're a little late for a break, so we're gonna take a break here. Here on the morning show, we're glad to be here with you, broadcasting live from the Clanton Tractor Studio. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Maybe collapse on my knees.
That's where I would be doing.
We're back at 6:25 after 6 on this Memorial Day Monday morning, and we want to take a moment and say again, don't forget what Memorial Day is all about. We talk about barbecues and being on the water or taking the day off. Federal offices, state offices are closed today, but it's also a day to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and our country and our lives in this great country. It's not Veterans Day, although we certainly love and appreciate all of our veterans and what they mean to us and their sacrifices as well. But this day, Memorial Day, is for those who gave the ultimate and died for this country and are buried in hallowed ground. And that's what today is all about. Think about those men and women who are no longer with us. They died serving this country, and that's an amazing thing. I lost 3 uncles that I never met. They were killed in World War II before I was born. But my dad, he lost 2 brothers, his 2 older brothers. My mother lost one of her brothers. And I had friends and relatives. I had a cousin that flew Phantom jets in Vietnam. He was over Hanoi twice in one day back in the 60s, flying Phantom jets for the Marine Corps. Thank God he survived it beautifully and came home, became a judge, and lived a long life as a judge in down near Demopolis and Linden down in there. Moved here to Clanton after he retired as a judge. Worked here in Clanton. He and his wife had a horse farm. And then he also, I think, would fill in once in a while to help the local judges here do drug court. And my cousin, I think, his name was Kenny. Ken Snow was the only judge in Alabama that's ever sat behind the bench in every county in the state of Alabama. That was his goal. He was a judge for 30 years or more, maybe 40 years. And so he would, he'd help other friends, judges, when they had to go out, either for sickness or vacation or whatever.
In for
He'd
them.
fill in for them. And he broke, his challenge was to sit behind every court of every county in the state of Alabama, and he did it. But he lived the rest of his life, he and Linda, here in Clanton. They had a little horse farm, and then he tragically got leukemia and died last year. Ken Snow. Great guy, and he was my hero growing up, because when I was in high school, he was over there in Vietnam flying Phantom jets. I mean, that was the most amazing, and the Marine, and then his brother was a Marine, but they all came back and lived good lives, but they were great patriots. And, you think about right today, we'll talk about some of the events. There's one going on right here in Clanton. If you're not off somewhere and you can come back into town at 10 this morning, we got that we'll talk about in a minute. We also have, I'm sure, Baden and I were talking, I know the American Village probably has something going on, but I know that it's a big day for the National Cemetery up in Montevallo. Between Montevallo and Alabaster is the National Cemetery. That is like the Arlington in the state of Alabama. It's an amazing place. Have you ever been in there?
Yes, I have, and it's basically right next to American Village.
It is. It's
yeah,
right,
I mean, it's right there
right
on
by it.
119.
And it's an amazing place. And, you forget, so many of our servicemen die constantly because we've got so many people that served in Alabama. There's like 3 and 4 funerals a day there sometimes. I used to live right by that cemetery up in Alabaster, so I was going by it all the time, and it's kind of shocking when you see how many funerals. Now, some of them, these poor veterans or their spouses, when they're buried there may only be just a few people in the funeral procession, because they may have not had many left to, it's kind of sad. And then there's some big ones,
Sure,
right. But it's constant. I mean, you forget that people die daily that serve this country. And since that's the big cemetery in our state, in our area, for all of our servicemen and women, it's an honor to see them the way they do it. They lay them to rest with all the honors that, and the bugler and everything else playing taps.
I know, it's a moving ceremony. I've been to a few of them in my life with the military honor who were buried with military honors.
It's amazing. Taps is played at most of these funerals, and we'll talk about taps because taps has an unusual history. It was born, literally created during the Civil War, because one general didn't like it's taps means extinguish the lights. That's what, and it came about. Everything in the military comes about. It used to be communicated on the battlefield or on bases or out in the field with either drums, bugles, or bells. The Navy tends to use bells to communicate everything. In the Army and other armies, or the Marines, whatever, Air Force, all our military guys, they use bugles for the most part. But in the old days, up until the Civil War, it's the only way you could, and of course the Scottish used the bagpipes, but they had to use drums because you could hear a drum from way off. So taps, they used to tap a certain thing that told you it was time to put out the fires and extinguish lights in the barracks and all that. So that's why it's called taps, because they used to tap, I think 4 taps, 4 in a row meant extinguish all the lights. So then when they started using bugle calls, there was one that the military used for extinguishing lights that was real sharp and rat-a-tatty, and this general thought, he was in the Civil War, Union general, he thought it was too staccato, and you didn't want to hear that just before you go to sleep. So he got a guy his bugler to come up with some notes, and taps only has 24 notes. It's 24 notes. And they came up with taps to tell, and it was not to bury people, it was simply to tell everybody it's time to go to bed. It's extinguish lights, hit the sack. And so taps is played every night at 10 o'clock on most military bases. And I know when I went to Marion Military Institute, every night at 10 o'clock, taps was played to tell us we had to turn off our lights in our barracks and we had to go to bed right then. So taps that's its primary purpose. But what happened is people started playing that, since it said end of the day,
Right.
Going to sleep. The analogy was it was the same as someone dying. It's the end of their life. They're going to sleep. They're going away. So taps has 24 notes that is so important, and it has become now. If you play taps every night to tell you to turn off lights and go to bed, there's no need to stand, salute, or put your hand over your heart. But we were talking about protocol with the flag, Mike. If you are at a funeral and they play taps, most people in uniform will salute, and they will
Right.
start the salute at the beginning of taps, and you're supposed to wait till the last note of taps fades away, and then you slowly recover from your. Most people are supposed to civilians put their hands over their heart.
Right.
But just playing taps doesn't mean you do that, because you'd be doing that at night for you. And it's
I
it's the
understand.
purpose,
Right.
it's the use of it.
Exactly.
It's
the
pretty
particular
cool.
use of it. It is very cool.
And you know what else is bizarre now? The world of electronics, it's gotten so hard to find people who can actually play taps for all these different events and funerals and stuff. Do you know that they created this little thing that goes in the end of a bugle, and it's an electronic speaker, and all they do is hit a button, and it plays taps. So they just hold the bugle and hit a button, and they pretend to be playing taps, but it's played out of this speaker. And it sounds pretty good. The problem is I was at a funeral, and the guy had not checked his batteries, or something went wrong. And right in the middle of playing taps at this man's funeral, it started doing weird electronic stuff. It started going, oh my God, it just broke your heart.
Maybe interfered with the signal or something.
Yeah, and it was
If
awful.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
So now they've got a group that's trying to get rid of most of those electronic inserts for a bugle and play taps for real. And so they're trying to enlist all these people who can play trumpet or bugles, former military, maybe not, just anyone that's a good trumpeter, whatever, that can play taps, those 24 notes. They just want it played live. And I think that's great, because it does seem impersonal if the guys sit. I mean, the honor's still supposed to be there, but it just seems artificial. I'd rather hear a real bugler not do a very good job of it, but know it's live,
Right.
than to have a
Doing his
perfect
best.
one that sounds like that's coming out of a electronic speaker.
Well, it's a very moving piece.
Yeah, 24 notes.
I
Amazing.
never knew that, but when you said that, you know what I'm doing? I'm going taps through my head, going 1, 2, 3. He's right. It's 24.
Yeah.
I was thinking, it had to be more than that, but no, it's exactly 24.
And it runs right at a minute. If it's played about the same tempo as it's supposed to be, it's like a minute. It's amazing, like a minute and 2 seconds usually. And that includes the fade out. But I love all this symbolism, because, men and women who give up their lives, and I don't mean just the ones that die, those men and women are veterans who give time in their lives and their talents and their sometimes their mental health, and then those who, of course, are killed or die in service. That is an ultimate sacrifice, and we owe them these symbols.
We really
of
do.
our
I was thinking about your
respect.
friend that flew the jets, and I was thinking, wow, was he already a pilot, or did they make him a pilot?
They made him a pilot.
Exactly. Think about that now. That is something.
He's
Somebody
a-
that can be trained to operate such a.
And he
Such
flew,
a
you
vehicle
got
like
these
that.
guys that are flying these F-35s and these incredible machines now. Did you see where a Blue Angel got killed the other day?
No, I did not.
I saw
did
that
have
online last night.
We did have some, like our senior group from church went down to Pensacola, and they went out on a dolphin cruise, and they got to watch the Blue
the
Angels
practice. Yes.
Exactly. And they were just talking about how cool it was to be out, a few miles, I guess. I don't know how far out they were
But to see
in
those
the
jets.
in the Gulf, and to see the jets, in addition to all the dolphins. So, but listen, I want to recognize a couple of our sponsors.
Yes.
Before we go to break, Chilton Mobile Home Supply and
Thank you.
Central Alabama Wellness, who sponsored a big event last week. But anyway, we'll be right back after these words here on the Morning Mayhem with Dollar Bill and Mike. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
We are back on this Monday morning, 6:40, 20 minutes away from 7 o'clock. Dollar Bill and Mike here with you on this Memorial Day. And again, we thank you for watching and listening this morning. I don't know if many people are. Everything's so different on a day like today. You wonder, there's nobody much out driving. But, it's pleasant this morning out there. A little foggy, but the temperature's nice. It's a little humid, but we've got that chance of, midday and afternoon thunder showers, early evening thunder showers, literally for the next 3 or 4 days minimum.
Yep, that's right. Well, again, we need it, so we have to deal with it here. Yeah, where do we live in Alabama? As the old saying goes, wait a few minutes, it's going to change.
Don't you? If you don't like the weather, just wait.
That's right.
Yesterday, be careful. Yesterday, a friend of mine was called me and said there's a viaduct, a bridge, a long bridge, kind of like a viaduct, really, over by Lay Lake near Spring Creek, and some people were on a forerunner, a side-by-side or a four-wheeler or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really know the difference.
And the woman got thrown out of it in the road. I don't think she was killed, but I think she was hurt kind of bad. And then they blocked the road off and stuff. So, this is a day when people are out doing lots of recreational things today, especially since it's back to normal tomorrow for a lot of people, back to work, whatever. So on these long holiday weekends, just be careful because, they've had a lot of activities on the river on Lay Lake and Martin and Mitchell and Logan Martin and Neely Henry, all these lakes. It's a great time to get out and start the summer unofficially. But there's also people that don't think very clearly. There's people drinking. I know there's a lot of alcohol. I grew up on the lake all my life. Lake Gunnersville when I was a kid, Neely Henry, Lay, Logan Martin.
Cool, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been on a lake somewhere, not full time, but we always had some place to go to. And alcohol, when I was younger, was the thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when we were teenagers, we couldn't wait to sneak beer out on the boat or whatever, and we drank, and we were doing stupid things. They finally, thank God, have, gotten a little more strict on it. And that's really a good thing because we were crazy when we were younger.
Push the limits a little bit every now and then.
Oh, that's why I ended up at Marion Military Institute, because I pushed the limits way too often, too far. But you know what? It was good. It tied the chain, not my chain, and I matured me a little bit. And believe me, I was not very mature young. So be careful. There's a lot of, I still have a place right on at La Coosa Marina up there on Lay. There's still a lot of drinking going on up there. And, if you want to party and all that, but stay on the land, that's fine. And if you want a designated boat driver, that's okay. But, there's a lot of people that just get bombed and get out on their boats. It scares me to death. You see people do stupid things. And so just be careful, because it's the same thing with driving. A lot of people drink too much and then get out on the road to go get more or to go somewhere, and it's a little scary. So be careful on these, especially on these holiday weekends, because some people lose their perspective and lose their minds, and you don't want anybody to lose their life.
They will. I was on my way to Southside last Saturday, and
Now, that Gadsden Southside, or
Gadsden, right? And I was coming past Beeswax. I guess you passed that
I know
too.
it well, yeah.
And right there in their little marina right there, they had a fishing tournament. I mean, it was like, by that time it was like 5:30. That everybody looked like they were all about ready to go. But I mean, it looked like hundreds of boats out there.
Yeah, it looked like bees.
Well, I guess so. So I was thinking about, I wish I was on that lake fishing.
Yeah.
Do you fish, Bill, when you're out there?
I used to fish a lot, and then I got older, and my vision and my hand, I got neuropathy and stuff, and it took all the pleasure out of fishing. Plus, I will tell you, Mike, I was a terrible fisher person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just didn't have the
Couldn't
knack
hold
for
the
it.
pole right or something?
No, I think I had a right-handed pole, and I should have been left-handed or something. I could be in a boat with a couple of my buddies, and they'd be pulling in some bass and some pretty good fish, maybe a nice lunker, and I couldn't get a crappie. I couldn't get a catfish. I couldn't get nothing except mosquito bit and my sunburn. I'd come back from a fishing trip, mosquito bit and sunburn, and everybody else would be cleaning fish, and I'd be licking my wounds.
Well, I think in that case you'd say, thank goodness for the alcohol, right? No, I'm kidding.
In that case, you're right, except I'd be pouring it on my arms rather than drinking it.
Yeah.
But it was, I'm just I love fishing. Now, don't get me wrong, especially when I was a kid, man, I loved to float fish. Put bait on a hook and get a cane pole and a bobber.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it out there and I could just stare at that bobber, and boy, you'd see
That's still my preferred method of fishing. I'm not a huge fisherman. I love to see the
I
cork.
like bobber fishing because
yeah.
it's like watching TV, and it's a suspenseful novel. I mean, a suspenseful show. Is something gonna? And you see it moving.
I know it. That's a great
I don't
feeling.
fish much anymore. I gave most of my fishing. I had lots of rods and reels. Of course, I still got some at the lake if friends and family they want to fish, but I'm just not. And plus, I've got a pier, that goes out into Lay Lake in front of my place that is in desperate need of rebuilding and repair. I wouldn't go out on that thing now. Somebody's going to if they try to go out on my pier now, they're going in the water.
Would the word rickety come to mind?
Rotten.
Oh, right.
Rickety. It was rickety 3 years ago. It's rotten. We've gone way past rickety. We're into desperation rotten now, and I've got to do it. But it's not cheap, and especially with the cost of lumber. And I don't know. I need to have it rebuilt. And of course, you got to go to Alabama Power and get them to approve your
plans.
I'm not going to change anything except just pretty much rebuild it because I don't have a boat anymore. I got rid of my pontoon boat, and I had a big 3-person Sea-Doo. I got rid of both of those because I couldn't, I'm with my legs and my vision, my age. And I didn't really know I was going to get another lake place right away. I had one we were up at Neely Henry, and we came here. and I found this place, and they went, well, I just got rid of the boat. I'll get another one. So it's been like 5 or 6 years now, and I've just not gotten another one. So I need the pier for other people to come visit or to fish off of, or to go out on.
exactly. Of course, you need
And
a pier.
I don't want it out there because it's, first of all, if it goes ahead and collapses into the water, I don't know if Alabama Power will let you rebuild. I guess you can, as long as you stay with the same footprint.
I would think, and again, like you said, don't they approve your plans?
Yeah,
You have to kind of let them know.
everybody around me's rebuilt theirs, and they didn't have a problem at all. They just
Did they have to wait till they lower the lake? Don't they lower the
Nah,
lake at some point? You
no.
can do it anytime.
do it anytime.
There's a skill. I'm sure there could
There
be.
is. I saw a guy doing my neighbors, and he was up to his waist in the water in some places, and where it was over his head, he figured out a way to do it from
Yeah.
what he had built or from a boat, and I watched him
Yeah,
build
from
it.
a
It was-
boat. That's
it was
right.
amazing.
That's how they do it. I've seen that work on. I've seen them work on it.
And see, that's the problem with mine. I think my pier, I haven't really. I looked at it when the water was lowered about 2-3 years ago. They lowered it, 2 years ago, and I went out and looked at it. I think even my support beams have got to be reset. They're looking pretty rotten.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very old pier from the 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Beyond rickety, I think you said.
no, rickety was 2000. 2018 was rickety. 2022 was unbelievably rickety, and now I've moved into rotten, completely rotten. It's dangerous. I had a niece go out on it 5 years ago and fell through. Her leg went through a rotten board, and I replaced one board because I thought. Then I realized I was out there hammering on the board, and I was on the dock, and it should have been stable, and I'm like floating. It's like something ain't right here. This ain't a floating dock. Not supposed to be.
Run for it.
So I did. I got off of it quick. And what's sad is I went out there a couple of years ago and put those little solar lights all around it, so at night it looks like a runway out there. Yeah. Now, I think a couple of them maybe look like they're underwater.
Like
I don't know.
a buoy or something.
Yeah, I gotta get it
Oh
fixed.
gosh.
So I'm putting, and I got a little pier fund. I'm throwing I'm retired. So I'm on a fixed income now. I'm living off of my Social Security and what I had, my
Put
retirement.
back yourself, right?
And so I
Me
don't
too.
have a lot. I've balanced it out so I can pay my bills every month and have a little, whatever. But I don't have, chunks of money that I can pull out of unless I take it out of my retirement, and I don't want to do that.
Not like the days we were working all the time.
Yeah, when I was
exactly.
working, I could put a little back here, or I'd get a little extra money here for
Yeah.
doing a remote or something, and I could put it in a phone. They're gone. So that poor pier, and of course we just moved to Columbiana, so Mary had all these things she wants to do for the new house. We had to do some flooring and a little change in the kitchen and stuff. So I have no pier money. That pier is going to be beyond rickety for a while. So don't go on my pier. And you know who came by the other?
Get you
I
some
was standing out there.
Police tape out there. Tape it off.
I actually am going to do that.
Okay.
Because I don't want anybody going on it and suing me.
Yeah, that's
hurting
what they'll
themselves.
do.
Yeah. So I am going to get some police. I need to go by and see my friends at the Clanton Police Department, see if they'll give me some state evidence. I was standing out there, and this guy comes flying up on a Sea-Doo, all sporty-like, and pulled up to and I said, I looked over, and there's Mike Royer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he has a place just above us on Lay Lake. Lay Lake's got a lot.
It was NBC Channel 13, right? Is that the guy?
Yeah, for years.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he was at 6 too. He's one of
Okay,
those
yeah.
popular guys. He was amazing. Great guy, Mike Royer. Great guy.
Doesn't his son
His
is it
son
Jack?
now, Jack.
Jack.
He's got 2 boys, William and Jack. Jack's in the business, and
Is he
Jack.
up in Huntsville now?
No, he's down in Tampa.
Okay.
Or
Well, I
somewhere
knew
in
he
Florida.
left Birmingham.
Big city in Florida.
Bigger city.
And he's just like he looks a lot like Mike, and he's talented like Mike. But so Mike's on Lay Lake just by me, and Eli Gold is not far from me on Lay Lake. There's several other media people, so it's kind of neat, But
It is neat. How about that?
yeah,
So Mike was just coming by to check on you.
he
See how
came
you,
by
how
to see
you,
how I was doing. I
how
was
you
standing
doing?
out there, and of course it was embarrassing because Mike and I have known each other literally 40 years, and great guy. And my legs are bad. You know, I've got this CIDP, which is a autoimmune disorder, which has taken a lot of the stability out of my legs and stuff. So I'm standing there talking to him while he's floating on his Sea-Doo right up on the thank God he didn't get on the pier. We'd have lost Mike Royer. But I went to turn to go home back to the house, and he was getting ready to leave. I went down like a sack of hammers. I fall all the time. I fell on the ground. It was I hurt nothing but my pride.
Right. Well, that's good.
And he had to come back around, pull his Sea-Doo up on tie it off, run over, and help my ass up. You know.
Yeah.
So it's embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Yeah, but it beats the options. The other options.
It does.
Yeah.
And I tell people I've gotten good at fall. I can fall pretty gracefully most of the time. Now I don't really hurt myself.
Well, that's an art.
It isn't. It's a necessary one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't want to break a hip or anything or break a bone. So, but it's embarrassing.
Yeah, Dad did that not too long ago, January 1st, actually.
Oh, he fell
and broke his hip. Of course, he's 91, so. You know, it's a little different, but
not much.
No, not much.
And that's scary when anybody breaks a hip at an elderly age, because really the problem they can get over the hip sometimes. It's pneumonia sets in because people become less active,
sedentary,
and pneumonia can take you out.
Yeah, Dad has been real good where he's located. Bill, they have an excellent physical therapist.
Oh, good.
Who gets him out and makes him do things, and he tells me about how far he's gone. It's like he's always been so athletic and so competitive.
So now he's
competitive about walking on using his walker.
I made it all the way down the hall
went down
and
there
back.
and back. He said 4 times,
There
or
you
something
go.
like that. I'm like, well, good, Dad, good.
Good
and
for
then
him.
we would go and we would walk and do the same thing. So he's that's been 6. Well, not quite 6 months. It was January 1st, so almost 6 months.
Yeah.
So he's doing good.
Good.
Obviously.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, speaking of pneumonia and all that stuff, we were talking Friday about Kyle Busch, and the man was 41.
41.
He died of pneumonia and sepsis from a sinus infection. Now, here's a man had just driven in a race the weekend before. He was
won a truck race on Friday.
And then he was playing with a simulator. They were getting him to check out a computer simulation driving game or something. And he got so ill he had to leave. And when he got home, they called 911 and got him to the hospital. He died from a sinus infection, which turned into not only pneumonia, but then it got in his whole system and he died of sepsis. His whole system was infected. And they couldn't save him. 41 years old, Kyle Busch died because he had a sinus infection. And, you know, people forget. And, you know, you think somebody that famous, obviously, I don't think he's broke. I think he's got
got to be a
plenty of money.
multi-millionaire.
Yeah, and he's probably got great insurance because of what he does for a living.
He really wouldn't even need insurance, you know, for all that money he's got.
But he's got
just
it, I'm
totally
sure.
blown it.
But here a guy lets himself get that sick. Of course, you know, you got to figure a lot of people have this, especially men, have this macho thing about I'll just ride through
exactly
it.
What I was thinking about, Bill, was his macho image or self-image.
It's
They called him Rowdy. His nickname was Rowdy, which I've never heard before.
They
I didn't
call
either.
him Rowdy?
I never heard. That's what they, when they were talking about him, they said, Rowdy this and
I
Rowdy
remember
that.
Roddy Piper.
So yeah, different
Rowdy?
sport. But he was. I didn't realize that was one of his nicknames, and there was another one too that he had. Because he was like pretty outspoken. I guess I'll put it mildly. But hey, I hate it for him. I really do.
It's so unnecessary. You would think in this day and time, how can a man of that ability and stature and all that stuff, how could he let himself die from a sinus infection, which could have been nipped in the bud? You would think. I
think what I read, he had 63 Cup wins. So 63, been racing.
And he's only 41.
He's been racing not quite 20 years, or maybe about 20 years.
Yeah, probably.
So think about that. That's winning at least 3 races every year. I mean, he won over 100.
He did more.
Over 100 truck races, and then what's the other one? The next one, I think they call it Infinity now, but it used to be what was it back in the day, Bill, when the second level?
Yeah, it was not.
The Bush.
It was the Bush. League, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bush something. Well,
it wasn't the Bush League.
I don't know if they call it
No,
the
I
Bush
don't think they
League.
called it that, but
Yeah.
that's baseball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly what I was thinking.
The Bush, or was it Winston Cup was
Right.
the big one, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not a
Yeah, me too.
huge NASCAR guy, but whatever it is, he won about 40 of those, right? He had over 200 wins. And you talk about, I wonder, being 41, and I hate to speculate here because, I mean no disrespect, and I don't think I'm being disrespectful, but I wonder if he was putting so much pressure on himself because he was 41, pretty much the end of his driving career. You don't see too many 40-year-old racers.
He's trying to stay as competitive
Right,
and as
relevant,
relevant as a 22-year-old.
So he's pushing himself. I always wondered why he drove the trucks and he drove the Bush cars,
right?
Because he didn't have to.
Well,
he just wanted to win.
his
He had that
drive was-
competitive
I guess he
to
had
win.
that competitive drive.
Well, he's got over 140 wins in those other two circuits. I think they call them, right? Circuit.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
Wow.
But
But
I
to
just
die
wondered if
at
he was just
41.
like, I can't take time off to get better. This might take 2 or 3. I might miss a month.
Right.
And then
Well, he drove in the race 3 days before he died.
And he said that he told, they come on the radio or something like this and said something to the effect of, have the doctor have a shot ready for me. So he took a shot of something.
Steroid, probably.
Or antibiotics. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
probably
whatever it
steroids.
was, whatever he
And see, the sad thing is, a steroid
How do you
can
roll
make
up your
you
sleeve
feel
from that thing, you
Well,
know?
you just eat a lot, but a steroid can make you feel much better, but it doesn't do anything, perhaps, to heal you. I mean, it doesn't do anything for the infection. It just makes you feel better.
Well, Brian has commented this called the Xfinity Series, and I understand that. That's what it is today. But back when
I don't remember
Kyle
what it was
Busch
called.
started,
Back in the 2000s and the 90s and 2000s, it had another name.
right. So, anyway, well, look, we're up against the break. The top of the hour is 6:59 here on the Morning Mayhem. We're broadcasting from the Clanton Tractor Studio. We also want to thank our sponsors, Coca-Cola and the Chilton Chamber of Commerce. Now, we're going to take a break after these words from our sponsors. We'll be right back. You stay listening.
Forecast update for today, partly sunny, a high of 81, 59 tonight. Lower
Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply is your go-to destination for top quality mobile home parts and supplies in Clanton, Alabama. Conveniently located at 14023 County Road 29, just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs, all conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience. Need reliable towing or diesel repair? Mem's Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair has you covered. We specialize in light and heavy duty towing and recovery with the latest equipment for any job, from campers and tractor trailers to winch box recoveries, and the only local-based rotator in the county. We do it all. Our diesel repair services include computer diagnostics, engine rebuilds, transmission and clutch work, and general maintenance. Trust Mem's Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair for top-notch service. Call us at 205-217-1984.
Just kills me hearing "Hail to the Chief," the presidential thing. That's neat on this Memorial Day Monday. It is 7:04, 4 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's warm and humid outside. Good chance of thunder showers developing through the day today, especially in the afternoon and early evening. Going to be that way today, Memorial Day Monday. Going to be that way Tuesday and Wednesday. Maybe Thursday. We'll see. They're saying we might have that trend changing by Thursday. I don't know what that means. It could get worse. It could get better. We do need the rain, Mike. I tell you, you're right.
That's right.
It's a shame that it may have messed up some people's holiday plans. But and speaking of that, today being Memorial Day, we've got an event here in town. If you want to pay homage to our men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and our lives in this great country, 10 o'clock this morning, downtown Clanton, right at the City Hall. Is that right?
No, it's at the new courthouse, isn't it?
Courthouse, okay.
It's at the new courthouse out on Lay Dam.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
That'll be nice. They're going to have...
You passed it, you pass it.
Coming in.
Coming in, yeah. Right.
That's pretty neat. So, 10 o'clock, and that'll be good. Hopefully the weather will be nice enough. I'm sure it's outside. It might not be. Do they have that new courthouse have a big room in there, or like a meeting room or anything? Do you know?
They do, but I think it is outside because the memorials are set up outside. The monuments, I call them memorials. I should have said monuments. I think that's a better word. Or that they've been relocated out there.
Okay, good.
They had a big ceremony for that when they did that about 3 weeks ago.
Good. So that'll be this morning, 10 o'clock. Go out and pay homage to that. I'm sure we've got things going on at the American Village. I know they've been putting all kinds of flags and stuff out at the National Cemetery. So if you might want to go, the beauty of the American Cemetery is you just go out there. It's right on 119, right near the American Village, out of Alabaster going into Montevallo. You can go and just drive through it it's like a park. It's beautiful. And it's so solemn. And you see the columbarium there where they have the people who are interred from with their ashes. And then you've got all the monuments. And, it's kind of like going to Arlington. And I'm sure they'll play taps out there today and have
all the flags out at each gravesite, even though each grave out there is basically a marker itself.
It is.
But they do signify it with the addition of the American flags.
They do wreaths on their graves, I think, around Christmas time, and then they do the flags for Memorial Day and the 4th of July and that sort of stuff. So if you want to, I think it's great. Now, if you're going to, today a lot of folks are going to be finishing up their long holiday weekend, so traffic this afternoon could be very strange because you got people coming back from the coast, back from the mountains, back from the lakes and rivers and streams, back to their homes so they can get ready for work tomorrow. Today's usually a really messy day, late in the afternoon and early evening for traffic. And again, you don't know who's been drinking or not, so be careful. And you know what I-65 looks like on these kind of days. You'll have a mix of the people mostly coming north from the coast, I guess, heading back up. Because remember, people go to the coast from not only Alabama and north of us in Birmingham and Huntsville, they go from Tennessee, and so there's a lot of traffic on I-65 especially.
Oh,
so be careful.
Quagmire is the way I will describe it. That's what you look at.
Giggity, giggity, not that quagmire.
Well, hey, we couldn't do this show without our sponsors. I want to thank Larry Puckett Chevrolet and Putter Up during this segment. But Bill, we were talking off the air a minute ago about the University of Montevallo, or Montevallo in general, and you just were talking about the ceremony going at the cemetery. But the University of Montevallo made news this past weekend.
That's right. They finally got him a replacement president.
That's right. And
is this the first time there's a female?
It is the very first one. And
Michelle, what was her
Johnston.
name?
Michelle Johnston. And she was president of Georgia Southwestern State University, which
I hope she does well at Montevallo. That's a great little school. And, Dr. Stewart was there before her, and there was a Dr. McChesney was a long-term president there. Dr. Johnson was there between, I think he was after McChesney, before Stewart. And that little school is a pretty small college, but it is beautiful. The
picturesque.
It is.
Campus.
It was originally an all-girls college. It was called the Montevallo Alabama Normal School. Normal was the name they gave colleges that taught teachers. I don't know why teachers' colleges were all normal colleges.
Well, it beats them being called abnormal.
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal, I remember.
Yeah.
What
Whose
brain did
was
you
that?
get?
Abby something. Abby something. Abby
Normal,
Normal.
I think it was.
Anyway,
The hump,
Montevallo
would be on
was,
this shoulder, and then later the hump was on the other shoulder.
I've always had that. What hump? I love Young Frankenstein. Great movie.
I know.
Anyway,
probably do that.
Montevallo, though, was designed as a all-women's teachers' college.
Right.
And then they went co-ed probably in the
1959.
Was it that early?
Yep.
59.
I looked it up last night.
59. Wow. I had an aunt that went there
I thought it was
right
earlier.
when it was changing. Because I think her first year at Montevallo was all girls, and her second year the first guys started coming in.
Well, our county, Chilton County, has thousands of graduates from University of Montevallo, including my wife and my sister-in-law. They both have degrees from there.
That's a great school.
So, yeah, and that was
really
real close to them in North Jemison, it was a 15-minute ride up there. But
Beautiful campus. The campus was designed by a very, very famous architectural firm. The same guy that designed New York's Central Park, Frederick Olmsted Law, or Frederick Law Olmsted.
No, I think Olmsted Law. I think he had
Frederick Olmsted Law.
I believe that's correct.
He designed the University of
I did
Montevallo
not
campus.
know that.
In 1890 something.
Wow,
I think.
yeah, that's right, like 1896 or something like that's when they started. I read an article. I take a magazine called Alabama Heritage.
I love that magazine.
I do
Is that
too.
not the greatest?
It is.
You learn
always.
so much about this
I can't
state.
wait for the perils in places in peril. They put that out every year and show you the old buildings.
All the
that are
old
in
houses and
distress,
buildings that are
that
about to
need
go.
some help. And sometimes people get together and save buildings.
Yeah, they
it means enough to somebody that has the means to do it, and they raise the money and fix up the place. But yeah.
So they got a new president at Montevallo. That's excellent. I hope she does really well, and I hope the school continues to thrive. It's had its ups and downs, but all of our colleges are really challenged right now because college education has gotten so expensive, and a lot of people now are deciding that college isn't for everyone, and that some people don't need college or want college. They want to trade. And so that's taken a lot of people that would have been maybe a customer for the college away from it. They're going to these junior colleges and trade schools. And yet, with lower enrollment, that doesn't help when you also have higher costs, because paying the professors and keeping the grounds up and keeping the standards so they can stay accredited cost a lot of money.
Yes, it does.
So I don't know what, they're really going through a struggle right now, but hopefully Montevallo will do really good.
Well, the article mentions, Bill, that since you brought that up about the fact that they had to borrow $10 million to continue operation in last year, 2025. But they said they're now in a position to start to repay that loan in early. Now, what that means, I don't know exactly. I guess they got the loan, and then the first payment wasn't due for a while. That's what I presume.
Who knows? Yeah.
Right. But if
I hope
that
that's
happened,
good news.
well, I hope it will. I think anytime you can pay something back early, if you had a vehicle or whatever you're paying for, and you can pay it off early, then that's a good thing for you.
Saves you money.
Yeah, it saves you a little
And
bit
it
of money.
shows that you're
That's
going
right,
in a
but-
positive direction rather than continuing to have to borrow.
But I thought it was interesting, though, that 125 or 30 years Montevallo's been in operation, and it was founded as a college for women. This is the first woman president.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason that seemed.
Well, the glass ceiling was always there.
Yeah, it was.
So now it doesn't exist. I hope. I hope she really does what she's obviously came from other colleges. She has a track record, so hopefully she'll do really well at Montevallo, and that
I don't
school
know
will
if
do
she's-
well. That's that town of Montevallo needs the University of Montevallo
Absolutely.
terribly. It doesn't. It has a few industries and all that, but the University of Montevallo is a prime supporter of the city, and the city's a big supporter of the college. So they need each other. It's a synergistic kind of thing. They're stronger together than if one of them wasn't there.
There's a cool park there, Orr Park.
Or Park, yeah.
It runs along I don't know, whatever creek that is.
Mayhem Creek, maybe,
Okay.
or Mayhem Creek.
I'm
I
not
think.
sure. I'm not sure, but there's a creek runs through this little city park, and someone has used their talents. It's a liberal arts college, so you tend to see a lot of creative people there, or creative types, and someone's taken like a chainsaw or something and has carved these images into these trees and tree trunks. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah. Tim Tingle did that.
Okay, Tim Tingle. There you go. Tell us about Tim.
Tim Tingle's a local guy who just started. He's always carved. He would, if you ever saw him in town, he'd be sitting outside, maybe outside a restaurant.
Whittling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not carving.
That's what
Actually,
my granddaddy would call it.
And he was good at it. And so years ago, he was going through Orr Park. Orr Park, by the way, is named after Dr. Orr, a local dentist who helped create that park. Is pretty famous because that's where the drinking water came from for the college back in the 1800s, and the city's water comes out of Orr Park, and that was their water supply. And that park, that little river that runs through it is also had a mill on it back in the day, and it's been the life of the town. So this park is amazing, but there were a lot of dead trees in it. The city didn't always keep up, and a tree would get killed with a lightning strike or whatever, and these stumps and these partial trees would be there. So Tim just decided, instead of just cutting everything down, I'm going to carve them into faces and stuff. He's not doing it in live trees unless it's a live tree that has a part that's coming off.
Exactly.
That was dead.
I've seen
So
that.
you do have some face, and then those trees that have those indentions in them that they grow sometimes, you can carve in those. It doesn't hurt the tree. So you can walk through Orr Park, and there's all these faces and characters and creatures that's made it into a beautiful fantasy land right by this lovely creek that runs through it, or little river. It's bigger than a creek, smaller than a river. I don't know what you call it.
I don't know either.
I guess
Sorry,
it's
I
a big
don't
creek,
know.
Mayhem Creek, I think.
Somebody will know what it is and
Yeah.
let us know. But I was
But
just
it's a
thinking
great
of
little park, and you can just pull up right by it and just walk through the park. They've got a big field in the back. They've got restrooms, nice restrooms on there. They've got a pavilion. They've got places to sit and eat if you want to take a sandwich out there and have a picnic. They got a playground for the kids out there, and it's all city park. So you can go and enjoy it.
Well, the only thing that I can't forgive the University of Montevallo for
Yeah, you and me both.
is closing the Montevallo golf course.
Well,
I missed that place. It was real close to me, and
I think the
a lot
city
of-
ended
lot
up
of-
closing it down.
They did,
I think what
but-
happened was it got so expensive to keep it up that the college sold it, I think, to the city. This may
they
be
did.
not
No,
true.
I think you're right. I think
And
you
then
got
the
it right.
city shut it down.
It's really
'cause-
not the university's fault at all.
No, they sold it to the city, and then the city ran it a few years, and then one of the mayors decided it was overhead and shut it. She shut it down, and then
Became
I
a
think they
disc
turned it into
golf.
a walking park, and then there was a dog.
They do
Anyway, they
disc
just kind of
golf,
let it go.
Disc golf, like frisbee
Disc-
golf.
Yeah, frisbee golf.
They play
yeah.
that out there now.
But
Well, they were. I don't know.
Yeah,
if they
I don't
still
know if
are.
it's still
I
doing
can't
it.
go there anymore because it's.
But
like
I love that
so
golf
sad.
course.
I know that was a great place
You know,
to
for
play.
years it was just a 9-hole, and then they expanded it to 18, and it was a great little course. It was not expensive to play. Maybe that was the problem. But they had a great golf pro out there, and
That was Ed Davis.
Ed Davis, nicest guy in
I
the
believe
world.
I'm right. I believe his last name was Davis.
Yeah,
But Ed,
Ed was a great guy.
yeah.
And he ran a good golf course, and they had carts that were nice, and
He did run a good golf
It was
course.
just a great little golf course. It was one of those fun ones. It wasn't particularly challenging. Well, let me put it this way: if you were a good golfer, it wasn't that challenging. It was challenging for me, but then again, every golf course is challenging to me because I'm a terrible golfer.
Well, we were talking about hole number 3. It's like 140-yard par 3 downhill.
It wasn't downhill. It felt like it was off a cliff. It was wonderful. You park your cart and you walked out to the edge of a precipice where the tee boxes were, and you looked down and you were looking way down, and it was a water down there and a peninsula with the green right in the peninsula. So I fed that water so many Titleist and Pinnacle golf balls that I ended up, every time I'd go to that hole, I'd find those horrible balls I would find in the woods, or I'd buy at Kmart or somewhere for, because they were cut balls or they were from a driving range.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was just going to feed 3 or 4 before I gave up and just went down and dropped one. But it looked like you could just tap the ball with your putter, just tap it, and it would go to the hole. It was a little bit of a challenge.
And if the wind was up, either way, in your face
it
or
didn't matter.
behind you,
It could be no wind.
You'd
I'm
knock
gonna
it
put it in
over
the water.
You'd put it, yeah, exactly. It was really a huge green, but the psychology of looking at water, it was probably around 3/4 of it. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
On both
It
sides,
was.
behind it,
That
in
was a
front of it,
peninsula.
and the right side of it, and then if it was really flooded, it would flood right there, and it would basically be surrounded by water,
was
except for the
amazing.
little
little
the
cart
walking
path,
path.
yeah.
Exactly. But I missed that course.
I missed that course too.
it was
And
just,
I think it was a nice thing for the community. I hate that they lost it. Maybe one day they can get another one down there.
maybe.
You never know.
But-
nowadays, I'm sure what they'll do is instead of putting in a golf course, there'll be a pickleball. Pickleball's gotten so incredibly fashionable and popular. They're putting pickleball courts everywhere.
I think the city of Clanton just added a few down
Did they?
at the city park right
Yeah,
down
well,
here.
I mean, they're putting them in everywhere. Pickleball has exploded in popularity. And
I have never played
never
it.
played
I
it. Me
don't
neither.
know the rules. I assume
Well,
it's
it's
something
basically
tennis-like with line. They have
tennis and
lines
ping
on it.
pong. You just take ping pong and handball and tennis and combine them. I don't know
And
how that.
expand it and make it big.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a friend that is a pickleball fanatic. He plays
got a couple
pickleball
like that, too.
5 days a week. He's in a tournament all the time. He's I think the average pickleball player, he's like 60, 62 or 3.
That's
He's
young-
not a young
guy.
man. Yeah, he is to me young.
Yeah,
but
in this room he'd
he's
be
like,
young.
yeah. But
At this
he
table.
loves it. He says it's changed his life.
Hey, whatever gets you moving, get you active, you're gonna stay alive longer. And I'm convinced.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Other than having an accident or something,
Right.
know.
Oh, yeah.
But absolutely. Hey, listen, I want to also mention a couple other of our sponsors, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Before we go to break, we have Bama Benefits, Kim Robinson, and This and That Vinyl. And it's 7:22 here on Piper Beach Radio, the Morning Mayhem with Dollar Bill and Mike. We'll be back right after these sponsors. Words.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
We are back on this Monday, Memorial Day. Good to be with you. It's 7:25, 25 after 7. It's nice outside as far as it's not too hot. It's 71 degrees right now. A little humid, so it's a great temperature, but we got a chance of thunder showers all day today. So if you plan, it may not be a washout, kind of scattered, but like yesterday and the day before, it's cloudy, then there can be sun, and then we can have rain, and then there can be sun, and it's going to be that way through at least Wednesday night and Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It should help us on our power bills a little bit, though. It'll be a little cooler for a couple of days, considering, by now we'd usually be topping 90, without this nice
We've
cloudy
had some
weather.
hot days already, though. Whew,
That's what I
early.
mean, yeah.
But, I'm an air conditioning guy. I don't like to be hot. Now, my wife would be perfectly happy to not have the air conditioner on until we hit 130. I mean, she's cold-natured. And as she's gotten a little older, she's gotten worse. So she drives me crazy because we have a great marriage until it comes to the thermostat. And then it's World War III.
It's the dishwasher is our nemesis.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, ours is the thermostat. She wants a house that's nice and toasty warm all the time. And I want a house you could hang meat in. I like a really cool house. And I don't mind in the daytime too much if it gets a little warm and we got a fan or whatever going. But at night, I cannot sleep in a hot room. I just can't do it anymore. When I was young, we didn't have air conditioning. We had ceiling fans and window fans and windows.
Open windows.
And that helped. And I was acclimated because we didn't have air. But now
acclimated.
everybody's got
That's right.
air. I mean, I go out of an air-conditioned house, walk 30 feet to an air-conditioned vehicle, get out of a vehicle, walk 10 feet into an air-conditioned anything, store, restaurant.
That's right.
My body is not used to the heat of summer anymore and the humidity.
Oh, gosh.
It kills me. And I've gotten older. So yeah, that's our World War III for us is the thermostat.
Bill, if I ask you what was the correct way to load a dishwasher, for example,
Right.
what would be your advice to our listeners?
Well, the correct way to do it, you've got certain dishes that you put in the bottom, and they always should face in, like plates should face inward.
Okay.
And you've got pots and pans with the bottom, they should be pointed down. Top, you got things for glasses, they should be at the right angle, and down that's.
What about the loading specifically of the dishwasher? Would you be a front to back man or a back to front man?
Well, it depends to me on what you're putting in there. But
wait now, Bill. That's a politician's answer.
It is, but
what,
it's
what
also
do you
the
do?
truth. It's like if you got big pots and pans, they got to go in the back first,
Well,
and you
okay,
work forward.
yeah.
But if you've got just small stuff, you can do it either way. Whatever you're comfortable with. If it's
Man, I thought you'd agree with me, but you don't.
What do you say?
You've got to start in the back and work your way to the front.
Well, that's the best way to do
Because
it
if you start
because
in the front, then
you got to reach over crap to get to the back.
Exactly.
Of course.
Thank you.
That makes
Thank
all
you,
the
Bill.
sense in the world. All right, let me ask you.
So now-
Silverware,
Okay.
tines up or tines down?
Oh, time's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they're
Yeah.
pointed up.
Yes, exactly.
But
Right.
what about knives?
Knives are definitely points down.
Yeah, so you don't stick yourself.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it makes sense.
we have some really sharp knives. I told you my wife culinary.
Yeah,
she
and
has all kind of really
I'm a knife
really
freak.
good knives.
I'm
You
a
are?
knife freak.
Okay.
I actually have 3 different sharpeners that I use. Every Sunday is knife sharpening day.
Okay.
So in Sunday afternoon, every Sunday, I go in there and pull out every nice knife. We've got some expensive ones too.
Right.
We got some Hinkles and some, I forgot the other brand, but
I don't know the
German.
brands, I'm afraid.
But anyway, my problem is I have a hard time keeping the serrated knives because those you have to use a round little stone and do each individual scoop of a
Serration.
serrated knife, every
Yeah.
serration. That takes forever.
Right.
But as far as straight knives, man, I'll sit there and redo them, hone them, everything, and put them back in. And I've got a steel for when I have to. If I'm cutting something and it starts to dull, I'll steel it and go again. But I'm a nut for. And
Get
one
you a
time I
whetstone.
caught my wife. She went in the kitchen and got one of my nice kitchen knives to go out and cut some vines in the. I went crazy.
Cut
I
some
lost
vines?
out in the garden.
Outside
Yeah, she was hacking away and cutting it
with a
up
knife.
with a kitchen knife,
Mm.
not a utility knife, which they're made for, not a clipper or a saw, which I bought her 6 or 7, and I sharpened those. I'm a
Oh, you
nut.
do?
I just took a file and sharpened all our little clippers and hedged everything. There's 2 things I'm weird about. One of them is a knife needs to be sharp. I sharpen my pocket knife every day, whether I've taken it out or not. And glass. I like clean glass, and I clean glass all the time. It drives her crazy.
Oh my goodness!
And she better not touch the thermostat or load the dishwasher.
Exactly the
By the way,
correct
I'm
way.
the only one that loads the dishwasher in my
Oh,
house.
you are? Well, I would. My wife would probably describe me as rarely loading it,
No.
which I would strongly disagree with. I have no
yeah.
evidence of that.
No,
but,
I actually will
you know.
unload her loading and reload it. I've
Yeah.
many times opened the dishwasher and pulled out the tray to put something in there and went, oh, no. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, I know.
pull
I
all-
have to. I have to move things to the back
Right.
because of reaching over,
Right.
hitting a plate with another plate.
Right.
It could
Oh,
be.
yeah.
It could be
Could be disastrous.
exactly.
We've got our
calamity.
priorities. My son is the same way. He wouldn't let his wife touch their dishwasher because he said she just didn't have any clue how to load it correctly. He was as anal as I am about it, anal retentive about it. So it's funny how you get hooked on certain things.
Well, I think Raynette, she likes to just put it in there.
Yeah, Mary
She's-
just lays it
definitely
in there.
starts in the front and then she goes to the back, which she does a lot more than I do. So I just kid her about it.
I'm not
but,
kidding.
Yeah. You're definitely not kidding. But we don't argue about the thermostat too much.
You don't? Y'all both like about the same thing? That's a blessing.
I mean, if you're cold, then bundle up. Bundle up,
that's
Buttercup.
what I say. You can always bundle up, layer up, blanket up, whatever. But if you're hot, you can get naked and still be hot. You've got to have air conditioning. You know what I'm saying?
What's that sound?
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Yes, number 2.
But that's the
Coca-Cola
thing
2.
about it. You can't get comfortable if it's hot. If
I
you
know.
don't have air
I don't
conditioning.
like to sleep hot at all. But I got that the ceiling fan is the greatest thing ever,
I got one right over the bed.
They kind of came back in. They were out of favor, I guess,
for a while.
For several years.
Yeah.
And then they kind of started back in the 80s, 70s.
Well, they were popular when popcorn ceilings were popular.
Yeah,
and then
that's
people
right.
turned against popcorn ceilings and ceiling fans. And now, thank God, popcorn ceilings aren't coming back, but fans. Well, it makes sense. A fan is an efficient way. Even if you've got central heat and air, fans have that little button, that directs whether it's blowing down
The heat
or
down,
pulling up.
right, or
and so in the
pulling air
winter,
up.
you should have it where it's blowing down, so the heat that collects in the ceiling is circulated down and around.
And
in the winter, you turn it the other. Summer, you turn it the other way, so the cold air, which tends to go low, is drawn up
Exactly.
to the heated air.
Exactly.
So you have to. I've got a couple of ceiling fans I couldn't reach if I had a 60-foot ladder in my old house because I had an A-frame big atrium, and there's no way it was even down on a 6-foot pole, and you still couldn't even hardly see it.
Right.
It was crazy big. My house now, they're high ceilings,
9,
but
10 feet.
9 feet ceilings or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, you can get a ladder and get up to. But I'm so lazy, I never think about switching that directional switch. And it's a little switch on the side of the motor. They don't give you a pull chain like they do for the light or the speed.
Well, I have done it, but I can't say that I do it
I don't
every
either.
year. It pretty much goes one
Whatever
direction.
I set it and forget it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. And it's typically around here we're geared up more for the summer than we are the winter, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
So I don't usually
Well, I
switch
keep
for
it on
winter.
in the winter too, the fan, because my wife has the heat on 203.
Well, I do that too, but I want it because I want it to be cooler rather than
me too.
than
Hot.
warmer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. For that very purpose that you were saying. But anyway, so you guys have plans this afternoon? You got anything? You gonna go anywhere and watch any type of Memorial Day ceremony or anything?
I'll turn the TV on and flip around and see what I can see. I have no particular plans. I've not looked for any special or anything. I don't know what. I think PBS has a special on public television. I think they've got something. I don't know about the regular networks or any of the other stuff. Mary has, it depends on the weather. We've got some projects that Mary had me start on yesterday outside. I'd run out when it was pretty and sunny or not raining and work a little bit, and then the rain would come in. I'd go back inside. Everything we're doing is pretty much outside. So we'll do that again today. I'll try to finish. I've got 2 projects I got halfway through when the rain hit again yesterday. So hopefully I can get home and get those done, and that'll be behind me. Everything else we can do inside. But we're not really planning like barbecuing or anything, It's
Well, we got some family and friends coming over around 5 today.
Excellent.
Which is kind of unusual. I've never done a 5 o'clock,
Right.
5 o'clock thing.
Usually it's a noon luncheon thing.
I don't know why it is this year.
What are y'all fixing, barbecue? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna have hamburgers, hot dogs, and my wife has barbecue already ready. So I'm not sure.
What time Mary and I are supposed to be
You
there?
need to be there at 5 o'clock.
Okay, good.
That's right. And remind me to give you the address, Bill.
That's
I'll make
good.
sure you get there.
Yeah, you'll be like the girl that gave me her phone number when I try to get their number in a bar. Somebody else, it wasn't her
I
number.
was gonna say, who'd you get?
I get the funeral home or the
Right, exactly, or something. The
I used to
taxi company.
I used to play a horrible trick on my buddy Raymond. He worked at a Sipco, American Cast Iron Pipe Company up in North Birmingham. Big company.
I know it. That's
And
right.
Raymond was an inside salesman for gate valves and hydrants. He actually sold, hydrants all over the world, really, but all over the country. He sold their hydrants to cities and communities and stuff. So he had an office, and had a secretary for the whole office. So if he was at lunch or out, someone else would answer his phone. The lady would answer his phone. This is back in the old days before you had answering machines and
Right.
stuff.
Well,
So
I mean, you had
a
the secretary. I had secretaries too when I first started
Right.
work.
So she'd answer the phone and say, "Mr. Quintero's office, may I help you?" And I'd say, is Mr. Quintero in? And she'd say, "No, may I take a message?" I'd say, "Well, would you get him to call me back?" So the first year I did this had to be in the 80s. I knew he was, he went to lunch every day at Clockwork. He got off noon to 1 for lunch, and they'd go to, someplace to eat, so he'd be out of the office.
Probably Nikki's.
Nikki's a lot.
It's right there.
Nikki's
close
a
by
lot.
after that.
Or the old smokehouse right next to Nikki's.
Okay. I
So
don't
anyway,
remember
I
that
knew
one.
he'd be gone, so I'd wait till lunch and I'd call him. And the secretary would say, "Mr. Quintero's office." I'd say, "May I speak to Mr. Quintero, please?" She said, "Well, he's out right now. May I take a message?" I said, "Yeah, would you just get him to return my call, please?" She said, "Okay, what's your name?" And I said, "Mr. Fant." And she goes, he'll know it's Mr. L.E. Fant. And Elephant. And
Yeah.
I'd give her the number for the Birmingham Zoo. And so Raymond would come back in and see that this Mr. Fant called him, and he'd call the number, and he wasn't paying attention. They'd go, of course, if it was the Birmingham Zoo, they might be wanting to buy a hydrant, so it didn't
Yeah.
matter. He wasn't even paying attention. He'd say, "May I speak to Mr. Elephant?" And the girl would say, "I'm sorry, but he's in his enclosure now eating some hay," and Raymond realized what he did.
Oh,
I'd wait a whole nother year. I always did it near his birthday. Call him again the next year and call the secretary and say, "Okay, would you just get him to return my call? My name is Mr. Fox, and here's my number, Birmingham Zoo." He'd call the zoo. "May I speak to Mr. Fox?" She said, "Well, he's playing with the other foxes right now, but I'll, because I get those calls, I guess, all the time. But I went through Mr. Bear, Mr. Fox, Mr. L.E. Fant. I had a couple others. And so anyway, he finally caught on it but it took him 5 or 6 years before he caught on to it.
catch on
Because
to
it's
it.
only once a year, and he's in,
Well, he's
working
also in that salesman mode, right?
Right.
He's ready to sell a hydrant to somebody.
And then they went to dang answer machines, and
Just
I had to come up with a different way to harass him. But I did.
it took away from it, huh?
The beauty of it was, some of the answer machines that people had at their homes, you remember the old ones? You had a cassette in it or digital, but it would record as long as you talked or made
Well,
noise.
obviously, you don't know about my history. I was a store manager for Radio Shack for
Okay, so you
almost
know
3 years.
answer machines
So I
and-
sold a lot of
Yeah,
answering
there
machines.
you go. Well, I had
I
a
remember
buddy-
those.
I
They
had
had
a
the
buddy-
micro cassette ones too.
Yeah, we did, tiny little.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a buddy named Jimbo Wood. He worked in radio for many years, and then he moved to Huntsville. Now he's got a morning show in Huntsville. But Jimbo and I would harass each other every way we could come up with it. And he was working at I-95 when I was working at Kicks and ERC. And so Jimbo bought this fancy, back when they were brand new, you couldn't afford, those things were like hundreds of dollars for an answer machine back then, or $100 and something bucks, when that was like $1,000 now.
Right, right.
He bought this fancy answer machine where he could say, "Hi, this is Jimbo Wood. I can't come to the phone right now. Please leave your name and number at the tone." And then go, "Dude," and this thing would record as long as somebody talked. There was no limit. It didn't cut off after 30 seconds. It would record as long as there was tape in the machine to record it.
Right,
And he put a big old 90-minute, cassette in there.
right. You could.
So what I did is I had this thing that held 2 gallons of water that you took camping. It was a big plastic jug with a spigot.
I
for
remember
camping.
those.
Mhm.
Yep.
Holds 2 gallons.
Well, the one I had, it was a 1 gallon, but I
This
remember
is
something
2
similar
gallons,
with a
big one.
spigot.
I wanted the big one with the spigot.
Yeah.
I put it on the back of my toilet and had it where the spigot would dribble down in the toilet. I said, and I had one of those wireless phones, we had it back then. I said, I call him. He go, I can't come to the phone. Dude, I'd say, hey, Jimbo, this is Bill. I just got in. Oh, man, hang on just a second. I got something really important to tell you, but I've got to pee so bad. I said, hang on just a second. I'm dying. I just came in the door, and my bladder's about to burst, and I'd start that water dribbling, and I'd let him hear it. And of course, this thing's hearing the water dribbling, so it's not cutting off. And I just set the phone down and went upstairs and fixed me a sandwich. And it's dribbling, and I'd go back downstairs after a couple of minutes, and I'd go, oh man, and I'd turn it off. I go, Jimbo, hang on, and I turn it back on. I go, woo, I'm done, and that thing went for literally 40 minutes. I just stick my head in the door, go, woo, man, I feel better, and I'd walk back in. He called me that night and cussed me because he couldn't.
He missed
He
some
didn't know how
important
long
calls.
it was going to go. Well, he did. He could, and so he sat and listened to that till almost the bitter end.
forced
He
him to
finally
listen to the whole
started
thing.
fast forwarding, to
Making sure there wasn't some
and it went
important message.
It went till his cassette ended. He said no other, and then he had all these missed calls. It was
That's
wonderful.
what I was thinking about was the messages he didn't get.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Because he was hearing.
Then I can't tell you what he did to me, but because you can't tell that story on the air. But
Can't broadcast it.
We did stuff to each other that was just unbelievable. Sometimes it was wonderful,
That sounds like
wonderful.
like a good time.
It was. It was.
Hey,
great.
we have some other sponsors that we need to recognize
Okey-doke.
this morning. We have Workout Anytime, just right down the road here on 31 South. Farmers Furniture has been with us for a fairly short time. And then now we've had Woods Surfside Marina with us for quite a while. And I imagine that
Right.
place will be hopping today.
Oh, don't you know it? Of course, they service both Logan Martin,
They
Mitchell, and Lay. I think it's all.
They're right in a good
they're
spot.
Amazing.
A
Yeah.
good area. Mm-hmm.
And if you need boat work done or want to buy a boat, you can check with them. They're phenomenal.
They are, and all kind of things. There's not just boats. They have all kind of
Well,
watercraft.
Boats, yeah. Watercraft in general has an awful lot of accoutrement that you can buy and enjoy. I mean, you got a pontoon boat, you got to have all kind of stuff to go on that pontoon boat. You might want a fancy sound system. You might need lights. You might need a flag. You might want a flotation device. All kinds of stuff. And
That's right.
All kind of watercraft demands
They got
toys
it.
to go with it.
They got it exactly. That's
I
all
like
part
the
of it.
toys. Yeah. Well, let's take a break. It is 7:44. It's about 16 minutes away from 8 o'clock. And by the way, we're only going on until 8 o'clock this morning. I know we've been transitioning. We used to be from 7 to 9. We've moved it up to 6 to 9 last week to get people used to the earlier hour. And now we're going back to our 2 hours. So 6 to 8 is our standard morning mayhem time now.
Yeah.
And we hope that you've enjoyed getting in a little early, maybe, because I think a lot of people, it was easier to listen early because by 8 o'clock, people are going to work and getting busy for the day. That 8 to 9.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great idea. And
Me too.
I believe you might get credit for that idea, actually. Around
I don't know
here.
about that. If you don't like it, it wasn't me. Yeah, only if
Exactly.
you like it. I'll take credit if you liked it. But we'll take a break, and we'll be back with more as we finish up our last quarter of the hour here on Morning Mayhem on Piper Peach Radio.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you. whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Or you can call it 7:48 is our time. Just 12 minutes now before 8 o'clock. About to wrap up the show this morning. Mike, what are you going to do? You going to have your party at 5? Is everything about ready to go? What if it rains? Can you all be inside?
We're still be inside anyway. We have a nice deck, Bill, and then we
Is it covered?
part of
Partially.
it is. Unfortunately, you have to go through the uncovered part to get to the covered part. Perhaps we should have rethought that or re-engineered that. Frederick Olmsted Law didn't help us.
No, well, you didn't pay for that either.
No, I didn't pay for him either. But yeah, we could be outside. I mean, and we might. You know how it is. We're gonna get some spurts of rain, then you'll have an hour or two where it's not raining. So
You never know.
knows exactly what it's going to be at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Predicted it's going to rain, so we expect to be inside.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
No matter what. Gatherings are wonderful. I saw a study about gatherings. Humankind, the thing about humans is we're social creatures. And lately, with the advent of all this, online stuff over
figured
the
that's where
last
you were
20
going.
years,
Yeah.
we've gotten more isolated rather than, they always said this would
Connect
be
us to the
great for
world.
connections because it would connect you with the world. It would connect you quicker and easier with all your people around you. The problem is this isn't true connection, not eyeball to eyeball, person to person connection.
Right.
Especially since you don't usually FaceTime people. That might help a little, but not much. But a lot of people don't even talk. They text.
That's right.
And that is not face-to-face communication or not even real communication, actually. It's like writing letters. So we've gotten away from a lot of gatherings. Now, humans need gatherings for ceremonial purposes. That's why we go to church for our religion, ceremonies. When we have weddings and funerals, people gather. But they also gather. We used to have more gatherings for dinner on the ground and dinners, and we'd sit on the porch with our neighbors, and we'd go. There was more gatherings. I think that's coming back around now. I've noticed that people have gotten starved for gatherings, like you having friends over and family and friends just to sit and eat and talk and spend time together. That is so important, and it's easy nowadays to not do it. It's harder to do it because it's easy to just sit at home. You've got air conditioning, a television, a lazy boy. You don't have to do anything. You can just lay there and be comfortable and alone, basically with just maybe your spouse or just whatever. But it's not a gathering.
No.
And I read an unusual thing about the fact that when 2 people or 3 or 4 people are in a room watching television, that's not really gathering either because you're not intercommunicating. You're all focused on one thing. Now, if you're sitting around a campfire, people typically will all stare at the fire, but they talk. Television, you don't talk much. You watch the show.
Right.
So it's really weird. I think it's great that you're having a gathering. I've told my wife, I said, we're going to, now that we've gotten moved to our new house stuff, we're going to work harder this coming years from now on, to try to have more gathering, have more people over, just to, if it's just to come over and sit, have an iced tea and a sandwich and talk for an hour or two, and then just to get people to talk face on face, one on one.
Right.
I hope I can do that. I miss that.
Well, Nia is such a wonderful. She's just a nurturer and a hostess. I mean, she's
This
just
your wife?
Yeah, Raynette. She is. She's just that way. She just loves to do it, and she lives for it. She about kills herself doing it, Bill. You know, making sure everything is just like she wants it. You know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And
She
I
wants
made
it
the
to be
mistake.
perfect.
I made the mistake yesterday, and I mean this with all. I mean this in a nice way, sweetheart. Don't take this the wrong way. But I mentioned one of my favorite things is yellow or mustard potato salad.
Oh yeah, see, I don't
And-
get that but usually it's mayo based.
Well, the mustard is my
That's what I'm
preferred.
saying. You don't
yes,
usually
that's
get
right.
the
That's-
mustard
that's
based one that
exactly
much.
right. And she'll put dill pickles or kosher pickles in there, just like I like. And so and it's almost like turkey. I don't get it every
yeah.
more than just a special
Couple
occasion.
times a year.
Exactly. And so I made the mention of it, and she's like, "Oh, I can make it." And I said, "No, I'm going to stop and get it." And honey, I'm going to stop on the way home and get it.
Oh, you know where you can buy it
Oh
already
yeah,
made?
you can buy it.
That you like?
Yeah, there's lots of places you can do it
With mustard.
Probably stop at the Pig up in
Yeah.
Columbiana
Columbiana.
or Jemison actually.
Jemison.
Yeah, there's one there. Been there a long time. So what you got in your hands there? Something about a city? City Fest?
I was just looking
raffle?
at this. I forgot. I'm an elk. A benevolent protective order of elk.
Okay.
I'm a
civic organization. Is that fair to describe it that way?
yeah. I guess it's not really civic. I think it would. Although that's the goal for the Elks Club, is to do things for your community.
Well, that's what I consider civic.
That is
I mean,
civic, I guess. It's also a social organization.
Yeah,
you know.
right.
It used to be only men, and now it's men and women. It's
Y'all wear
wonderful.
like funny hats kind of thing?
No, we don't. Get,
You don't do
When I
that?
joined, I thought I was going to get to wear elk horns or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
or,
What's up with that?
No, we just. If you become really active in it, you get to wear a blazer that's, I think it's blue. But yeah, I was hoping I'd have at least the Shriners get to wear fezzes.
Exactly. Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
the fez. Mhm.
And I think if you're
With the little,
what's the Catholic organization, the Knights of Columbus,
Knights of
get
Columbus.
a big hat with a big feather in it and
They
a
do.
sword.
They get a sword
We don't get nothing but a little pin that looks like an elk. Little, yeah.
and a vest. You said.
Well, if you are like an ambassador,
See,
if you get
it's
into the thing, you
only-
got to wear a.
You got to advance in
yeah.
the organization to get the vest.
You got to be an officer, basically.
There you
to
go.
wear the-
Right.
So I'm just a regular dude.
So what do they got going on over here?
Well, they're doing, Alabaster City Fest is coming up on the 6th of June, and they've got Trace Atkins
That's a big
playing.
act.
He's huge, yeah, and
He's
a lot of
literally
others.
huge. You know, he's like 6'8",
He's a big guy,
like
and
300.
he talks like this.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with Trace.
Trey, I wouldn't want to mess with him. I've met him 3 or 4 times, and
I bet you have.
His handshake is solid.
You got to get ready for it, huh?
Well, he doesn't crush you. He's not being me, but
You know
he's
what?
a
Do you
big
wear
guy.
a ring on your right hand? Or
Left
your right
hand, nope.
Yeah, I don't either because that
I want
used
somebody
to wear.
to break a finger.
I used to wear my
I used to wear
college
my
ring.
class. Me too. I
and it
wore
was
my.
like, oh my gosh!
Somebody-
I can't do that anymore. Take that thing off. It's like,
There's a guy, a friend of mine named VJ, that used to have a restaurant in Birmingham at the airport. It was called VJ's on the Runway. And VJ was this huge Italian guy, big bluster. Hey, buddy, talk
Yeah,
like that.
I knew
when
guys
he
like
shook
that.
your hand, he broke every bone in your hand. When
crack all your
Oh,
knuckles.
if he hugged you, every rib would be broken. You could actually, when
Give
he
me a
hugged
hug.
you, he's a real passionate Italian.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
great
yes,
guy.
yes, yes.
But when he hugged you, you could hear your back pop.
Exactly.
He was
Well,
like
that's
a chiropractor.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I don't know, not the way he did it. Anyway, Trace Atkins is that way. He's a big old boy. Anyway, they're giving away tickets. You can win 2 VIP armbands to City Fest. I'm trying to figure out
how to do it, how to qualify.
Yeah, you get unlimited access to the VIP area if you get this. And they're going to do a drawing, I guess. Oh, so they're selling raffle tickets, $5 each, or 5 tickets for $20. And that's the Elks Club in Calera. So
Elks Club in Calera, doing the Alabaster City Fest.
yeah, they're just giving away these 2
I got
VIP passes.
Yeah, right.
They'll draw on May 30th. That's this
And
coming
how do you
Saturday.
get the tickets? Is there a website or
Well,
something?
that's
you
what
can go
I'm
to?
looking for. I'm not sure. They gave me this to mention it, and I told them, since I'm a fine elk member, I just don't wear the blazer. And I don't get the hat, with the big antlers. I may create that.
Hey,
Anyway,
it's worth a shot.
I feel stupid because I can't tell. I think the website, you can check that because we do have the website.
And you said it was the Elks. What is the name of their organization, or is it just the Elks Club?
ELKS, Elks of
Okay.
Calera, I
Elks
guess.
of Calera.
Calera Elks Club.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's June the 6th.
I swear to God, I don't see any
So
way.
that's literally like
That's this Saturday.
a week from Saturday. Right, because today's the 25th. So
Oh,
we
that's
have
right. Yeah,
6 more days of May, and
that's
then
right.
so
It's
12.
Well, no, the 6th
Must be a
City
Friday.
Fest. The drawing is May 30th, this Saturday.
Oh.
And you can come to the lodge, by the way.
Sorry.
They're
Yeah.
going to hold it. It's open to the public. You can come to the lodge, and the Elks Club Lodge is in Calera near the plant down there, the lime plant.
on 25.
Yes, right off 25. You take a right, go over the railroad tracks. It's kind of hard to find, but you're welcome to come. And 7 p.m. they're going to do the drawing. I guess you can buy tickets if you get there before 7.
I'm sure they're just raising money, like you said, for
They
for
are.
different
We do a
things.
lot of good stuff for the community. They do cleanup campaigns. They put a lot of money into the schools. They offer a lot of scholarships. If we find out they're veterans, we feed veterans once a month. They have any veteran can come eat for free. Stuff like that. It's a good organ. My dad was an elk back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, early 70s. And then I got away from, didn't pay more attention to it. And then I became an elk a few years ago, and it was kind of neat because, my dad had been one for years and years. And I didn't know much about, as a kid, you just knew you got to go to the Elks Club and
Have dinner
and
maybe a
and
show.
they had a wonderful, swimming pool,
Oh, okay.
private swimming pool that was a big Olympic swimming pool. So that was where I swam when I was a kid all the time.
How about that?
And my dad liked it, because it was all guys then, and they had their meetings, and it was like boys club, and they just had a good time. He enjoyed it, and the families it was a family organization, but only the men went to the meetings. It was like a secret poo-pah meeting,
right, exactly.
And now that's not. I mean, it's still a closed meeting if you go to them, but I don't know why. It's like business as usual. It's not like we talk about anything that's highly secretive.
Right, exactly. It's not a secret.
We're not plotting anything.
It's not a secret handshake to get in.
No.
Or anything like that.
And I was so disappointed I wasn't going to wear some kind of like a Viking hat with elk horns.
I know. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah. Or I don't have and no sword. Nothing.
I remember the Elks Lodge that was outside of Prattville. It was basically in Pine Level. You know
Pine
that
Level,
area
Alabama.
down there? It's right at that exit, or used to be. I don't know if it's still
I wonder
right.
if they still have it.
Hey, Bill, Brian reminds me that Fred Flintstone was a member of the Royal Order of Buffaloes.
Yeah, that's right. He was.
Now, he did have a buffalo hat.
A buffalo hat. And he
with the
also wore a
horns.
big
I remember.
furry buffalo
That's exactly
vest.
right, like a coat.
I don't have an elk vest. I need to come. You know what? I need to have a seamstress find me some fake elk fur because I can't afford real elk fur, and have a vest made.
Oh, gosh, that's
I
funny.
did have a lady make me I made fun on the air years ago, 30 years ago, when Tim McGraw came out with Indian Outlaw. Remember that song?
I'm
an
sure I
Indian
would know it if I heard it.
Outlaw.
Yeah.
Anyway, he talks in the song about wearing
I
his
remember
buffalo briefs. He had underwear that was buffalo briefs. And I kept saying, I'd love a pair of buffalo briefs just for fun. I kept saying that. I got a box in the mail one day at the station, opened it up, and this lady had bought all this fake, it looked like mammoth fur. I mean, it was
Woolly
fur.
mammoth.
And she had woolly mammoth. and she had sewn it to a pair of Speedo underwear. So I put them on. They were really tiny. It was embarrassing. But the night that Tim McGraw played his concert at
Oak Mountain?
no, it was,
Oh, okay.
he was so new. He was in a club.
Oh, all right.
What club was it? Midnight Rodeo. Cost you $5 to see him. Anyway, it was also his birthday that night, and it was long before he married, what's her name? So he was a single guy. He was probably only about 21, 22 years old, 20. And it was his birthday. So we got this girl that was really hot that worked for us at the radio station. She agreed to put on a fairly skimpy outfit and bring him a birthday cake on stage. And that really got to him because she was very attractive, and he was taken by her, so much so that he forgot he had his guitar, and when he turned to say something to her, he raked all the icing off the top of the cake, and it went all over the front row, and he had icing all in his tuning things up there.
He was distracted, Bill.
Well, we all were. She was something else. I've forgotten her name now.
Hey, what was the name of that music hall? It was something music hall downtown Birmingham. What was that thing
that
called?
was
I saw the
Bailey
early,
Brothers.
Bailey Brothers, or
Well, no, it was before that. It was, what was it downtown?
What was the guy's name that was the big promoter? I thought it was what it was called. Anyway, I saw Earl Scruggs review there one time, man. They
Wasn't
jammed.
that amazing?
They jammed.
Well, he got all excited watching
I thought of that
this
when you
young
said-
lady in her scantily clad
And her buffalo.
oh, no, she was just scantily. She was pretty.
Oh, I thought she
and
had
cute.
buffalo. I thought you.
I had the buffalo briefs on.
Oh, I thought
and
that
so
tied
when I
into
went to
it.
bring him
The
on
buffalo
stage,
briefs.
I dropped trowel. And so I said, ladies and gentlemen, I unbuckled my pants, let them go. Boom, I'm standing up there in my buffalo briefs. Tim McGraw. And he just stood there.
Hard to top that one.
He did. He said,
Welcome to
that's what
Alabama,
I think
Tim.
that's what he said. He
Yeah.
loved it, but those buffalo briefs were
Well, look at
embarrassing.
that
'cause
clock.
I
That
had
clock
legs.
says
Do what now?
the clock.
It's-
8:03.
Yeah, but we didn't start till
So we're gonna get our
6:03. So
we're
I
gonna
was-
get our 2
yeah,
hours
I was gonna
in.
get our 2 hours.
I
I'm gonna
hear
get
you.
Baden his money's worth.
There you go. Exactly.
You know, it's like Baden says. You know, if he was a garbage collector, he'd say on the back of the garbage truck, "Satisfaction guaranteed," or "Double your garbage back."
Double your garbage back.
All right, we're gone today. Memorial Day. Be safe. Have a great day. Think about all of the men and women who made this day we can have, full of freedom, joy, great food, a good life, and
Family,
the freedom that we
friends.
have.
Absolutely, you know.
Think about them, because that's why we're here. We're here because of their sacrifices, and they gave it all for us. So
Don't forget to raise your flag at noon.
that's
raise
right.
it-
If
raise it at
you put
noon.
it at half, my flag just hangs. It's a front porch flag. I
Right.
can't lower it. I can't raise it.
Right.
I just put it out and bring it in.
That's okay too.
Yeah, I've got mine out there.
Yeah. This is just with a protocol with the flagpole, I guess.
Y'all have a good one. God bless America.